Hello, Dirtspun here. Welcome to another story time with Dirt. As you can see, I have a different setup this time. I've got my skull here. I named him Oden. Yes, after the Meshuggah album. Today's story is called Power of the Ancients. This is a bit of a longer story, so it may take more than one part. Alright, here we go. Ha! Can't catch me now, Izzy, taunted Oden as he rode past his friend Isabell. Oden's horse was faster than Isabell's, but she enjoyed racing him nonetheless. She laughed as he passed her and tried to kick him off his horse. Within a minute, Oden rode past the last checkpoint. He got off onto the vast plain atop the hill, and Isabell trotted up to him. "Shall we go again?" she asked. She wouldn't mind losing again, but still she tries to win. "Haha, no. You'll never beat me, Izzy," said Oden. "That's okay. I'd like to win someday, but for now I enjoy it when you win too." She got off her horse and continued. "Somehow seeing you with joy gives me joy." They both headed toward the city. "Even though you tried to kick me off my horse?" He smiled. "I enjoy that just as much," laughed Isabell as she bumped shoulders with Oden. Isabell was a beautiful young girl at the age of 19. She had thick, dark brown hair and pale skin. Oden had a pale complexion. He had lighter brown hair and was at the age of 20. As they reached the city, Isabell said, "So will I see you after practice?" "Of course. I will meet you at the Lion. Every day Oden went to the training grounds where all the knights and warriors trained. Oden had been coming here since he was old enough to swing a sword. With all the years he had put into training, the trainers and other warriors considered him family almost. Some of them might as well have raised him. Isabell had indulged herself in magic and spell books. When she was a young girl, both of her parents died in the war and was taken by the Syndicate. The organization dealing with magic and sorcery. They took Isabell in and trained her in the arts of casting spells. Her specialty is light energy. Meanwhile, at the Lion Inn and Tavern, Oden sat alone, drinking his ale. Soon Isabell walked in. She looked around for him and then saw his hand raised as to get her attention. She smiled as she walked over. "Sorry I'm late. I got caught up in my books," she explained. "Studying a new spell, are we?" said Oden as he got the barmaid's attention. "An ale for my friend." "Yes, it's called Beam of Ascension," she said. "You're not going to try it on me again, are you?" asked Oden. Isabell laughed and said, "No, my dear friend. This is a dangerous spell. I wouldn't dream of using it on you. I still need to practice it." "Good, because you know what happened last time with that push spell," said Oden, as Isabell's ale came. "Grab doll's wall?" said Isabell. "Yes, that one. I'm never walking into any wall of yours again," said Oden with all seriousness. Isabell laughed as she raised her tankard to her lips. Just then a man tripped over Oden's foot and nearly fell to the floor. "Hey boy, I almost fell on me face 'cause of your bloody foot. What you got to say for yourself?" asked the intimidating brute. "I'd say watch your step, you oaf," exclaimed Oden, ready for a brawl. "Oden, please don't do this," begged Isabell, trying to hide her face as Oden stood up. "I'd bury you in the ground, lad," said the brute. "Oh yeah?" said Oden, as he quickly finished his ale, took the tankard and punched it right in the brute's nose. Then Oden threw his fist straight into the oaf's gut, then slammed his head on the table as the large man fell to the floor moaning in pain. "Oden, you're embarrassing me," said Isabell. "Hey you, get out of here," said the innkeeper to Oden. Oden just smirked and shrugged as he made his way out the door, and Isabell followed him. "Oden, why did you do that? You could have easily walked out of that situation peacefully," explained Isabell. "Aw, come on, you know how I like to have my fun. Someday you're going to be on the other side, and it's not going to be so fun, and I won't pick you back up either," said Isabell. "I'm pretty sure I can take a beating," he bragged. "Can you?" sighed Isabell as she rolled her eyes. "Of course," said Oden doubtfully. "Well, I must get back to Master Vareth. He would have me for supper." explained Isabell. "Don't let me keep you. See you tomorrow, Izzy," said Oden as he waved goodbye to his best friend. He strolled home through the streets lit only by street lamps. He came up to the house where he and his uncle lived. Oden's parents also died, but not in the war. They set out on a journey and never returned, and from then on Oden has lived with his uncle. He opened the door and said, "Uncle, I have returned." "Good, then you can hand me the salt." "There," said his uncle as he was preparing a stew. Oden handed him the salt. "How was your day, boy? Did you get into any trouble?" "Well, just a little at the lion. That oaf was asking for it, though," said Oden. His uncle looked back at him and said, "Was he? You know, to be a great warrior is not to seek a fight, but to know the appropriate time to fight." Yes, uncle, I understand," said Oden. Usually when Oden's uncle gives him that speech, he blows it off. But this time Oden replayed the scene at the tavern again in his mind while he laid on his bed. Was I wrong to hit that man? He questioned himself. Soon he fell asleep. The next day he was sparring with one of the warriors, and Isabell walked up. She had a strange look on her face, as if she were worried. "Oden, you need to come to the syndicate with me," she said. "Why? I have no business there," he told her. "Master Vareth has summoned us," said Isabell. "I suppose I have no choice." Oden sheathed his blade and went with Isabell to the syndicate. It was a very large building with 6 pillars at the entrance, with a wide tower rising up. "I'm glad that both of you could come this afternoon," spoke Master Vareth. Master Vareth was half-elf and had a long white beard. "So, Master, why are we here?" asked Oden. "You have been chosen to undertake a dangerous task that you may not survive," explained Master Vareth. "Okay, pray tell us more, Master," cried Oden. "There is an ancient power that has remained hidden for centuries. An excavationist has found it, and so the enemy, or so they will. And now so has the enemy, or so they will. You must recover the power. You must not let the enemy have it." "Who is the enemy?" asked Isabell. "The hobgoblins that live in the underground in Tachus. And now they've come above ground and pushed back the dwarven forces." Master Vareth brought out a roll of cloth and opened it on the table. In it was a silver staff and a sword better than Oden's. "Take these tools, and may they serve you well in your journey. Now go. The enemy may find it any day," said Master Vareth. "And one more thing. This map marks the spot where the ancient power may be found," he added. Isabell took the map and put it in her satchel. Isabell and Oden took the staff and the sword. Oden said goodbye to his uncle and put his sword on his bed. Then they got on their horses and rode south. "I've never been to Tachus before," said Isabell. "Nor I. I've heard there are lots of rocks," said Oden. "We should know we are getting close by the amount of rocks we see," he added. Suddenly Isabell's horse spooked and threw her off. The horse ran away into the plains. There was a grass snake, very large and also non-venomous. Oden got off his horse to help Isabell up. "It's just a grass snake. Don't worry, they only eat hares and foxes," said Isabell as she stood up. "We have to find my horse. All my supplies are on him," she said. They both mounted Oden's horse and rode toward the direction Isabell's horse had ran off to. They shortly found him, and Isabell got back on her own horse. A few hours later they decided to make camp. "Here is a good spot," said Oden, laying down wood for a fire. It was sunset, and the two got out their bed mats. It was dark soon. The horses were hitched to the ground. They ate and drank. Oden pulled out his new sword. "Sure is shiny," he said. Isabell stood her staff up. "I've never used a staff before. I hope I'll be able to channel my energy through it," she said, pointing her staff at Oden. "Hey, don't point that thing at me," Oden said, taking his sword, moving the staff out of the way. He continued, I'm sure you will figure it out how. It can't be too hard." We should get some rest. We don't want to sleep too late, suggested Isabell. The next day they packed up and continued south. They rode quickly through the plains. Then an old man ran out in front of them, waved his hands in the air to stop the two. "But please, help! My daughter is stuck in a crevice." Their horses stopped. Then Oden said, "Sorry, old one, we don't have time to help your daughter." "Let's help him, Oden, please," said Isabell. "All right, fine. Let's make this quick," said Oden. The old man led them into the plains, but there was no crevice, only a small pit with a small skeleton. "What trickery is this?" said Oden, turning around to the old man, who had a rock in his hand and hit Isabell on the side of the head. Then he went for Oden, but Oden caught the man's wrist and threw him into the pit and drew his sword. He saw that it was not a man but a monster. It had small black eyes and rows of pointed teeth. "Foul creature, I'll stick you like a hog," yelled Oden, and that he did. He jumped into the pit and plunged his sword through the creature's chest and into the dirt. As the creature died, he turned back into the old man. Oden went over to Isabell. "Are you all right, Izzy?" he asked. She moaned and she sat up. "I feel a little dizzy," she said. "Here, drink some water." Oden gave her a drink from his skin. "Thank you," she said after she drank some. He helped her stand back up. They got back on their horses. And that is where part 1 will stop for today. Thank you for watching. Please excuse my stuttering and my inability to read. But anyway, if you enjoyed the story, please subscribe. And thank you for watching. Bye.